Okay, I want you to imagine the dawn of time, but don't picture something calm and orderly. Picture a cosmic drama, a universe literally born into conflict, with these raw, powerful forces just locked in opposition. A world torn in two. You have the upper waters, the lower waters, totally separated. And this split sets the stage for conflict so big it brings the whole project of creation to a dead stop. But then, right into this division, this incredible, radiant force emerges to bring it all into harmony. And out of that resolution, you get these two distinct pulses of light, sealing two things at once, the healing of that past fracture and the birth of a new, totally stable reality. Now, this isn't just some cool story, it's actually a secret code, and it's embedded right there in the first lines of Genesis. It's a story of division, stalemate, and the arrival of a special kind of harmony that made everything else possible. All right, let's just dive right in. The whole mystery that we're going to unpack today, it all comes down to this one tiny, super easy to miss detail in a story we all think we know. You know, the rhythm. God creates something, steps back, and says it was good. We see it on day 1 with light. We see it again on days 4, 5, and 6. But on day 3, the pattern breaks. That phrase, it was good, shows up not once, but twice. So what's going on here? Why the repeat? And why on this day of all days? And here's where the puzzle gets even deeper. When you look at the day right before it, day 2, that phrase is just gone. It's completely missing. It's the only real day of creation that doesn't get that divine stamp of approval. Now, this isn't a typo, right? This isn't some ancient copy-paste error. This is a deliberate clue. It's a breadcrumb trail, and if you follow it, it leads to this incredibly profound secret about conflict, about resolution, and about what it really takes to build something that lasts. This is the secret engine of cosmic harmony. So, our investigation really kicks off with what looks like a flaw in the system, an anomaly in the cosmic code. We've got to look at the strange relationship between the second and third days of creation. Let's just lay out the evidence so you can see it plain as day. On day 1, light bursts onto the scene, and boom, it was good. Simple. Perfect. Then on day 2, the waters get separated to create the heavens, and then crickets. Nothing. No validation at all. Then day 3 rolls around, the waters are gathered up, dry land appears, and we get our first, it was good. Then, on that exact same day, plants and trees start sprouting from the earth, and we get a second, it was good. You see the pattern, right? A missing validation immediately followed by a double validation. This is not a coincidence. It's a message. And you know what's really amazing about this? We're not the first people to scratch our heads over it. Not by a long shot. The ancient mystics have been decoding this for centuries. The Zohar Chadash, which is a foundational text of Kabbalah, it goes right at it. And it says, flat out, that on the second day, conflict itself was created. The job of that day was fundamentally unfinished. It was stuck, unresolved. And because it was incomplete, it just couldn't be called good. That stamp of approval, it had to wait. So here's the big takeaway. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. The creation story isn't just God's to-do list for the week. It's a narrative that actually embeds a deep cosmic drama into the source code of reality itself. It's a story that starts with division, leads to a conflict that literally stalls creation, and then culminates in the arrival of this incredible force that doesn't just stop the fight, but actually uses that tension to create something even better, a higher, more stable form of resolution. All right, let's keep going. Because to really get why there are two goods on day 3, we have to first really feel the weight of that silent, unresolved conflict on day 2. We got to go inside that cosmic stalemate. The key concept we need to understand here is machloket. Now, in modern Hebrew, it just means an argument, a disagreement. But in this mystical context, it's so much deeper. It represents that original, primordial state of division, the fundamental clash between the two essential forces of existence that were set up against each other on day 2. Okay, so these two forces are known as the right line and the left line. The right line, or chesed, is all about infinite expansion. It's pure, unchecked kindness and giving. Think of it like a supernova of light and love just wanting to expand forever. But what's the risk? Well, without any kind of container or structure, it's just beautiful, formless chaos. On the other side, you've got the left line, or gevura, and it's the total opposite. This is the force of contraction, of discipline, judgment, boundaries. It's what creates the vessel, the rules, the structure. Its risk? A vessel with no light inside is just a dark, empty, sterile box. Its form with no content. And this quote just brilliantly nails the stalemate of day 2. The great Kabbalist Baal HaSulam explains that these two forces weren't just different. They were actively trying to cancel each other out.
The right line of expansion saw the left line's structure as a cage and wanted to just obliterate it. And at the same time, the left line of structure saw the right's light as total chaos and wanted to contain and nullify it. The result of this machloket, as the quote says, neither of them could shine. It was a cosmic standoff.
So what you end up with is total cosmic gridlock, a universe just frozen in tension. The brilliant structure and wisdom from the left had no light or kindness to give it any meaning, and the infinite loving kindness from the right had no vessel to give it any shape or purpose. Creation was basically on pause. It was stuck, incomplete, and you just can't call an incomplete, broken system good.
So how on earth did this get fixed? Well, this brings us to day 3. And the arrival of the hero of our story, this incredible reconciling force known as the middle column.
This third principle is called Tiferet, which can be translated as beauty or harmony. Now listen, this is absolutely crucial to get. Tiferet is not a compromise. This is not about each side giving up a little something to meet in some weak, watered-down metal. No way. This is a brand new third thing, a higher-order synthesis that has this unique power to take two warring opposites and weave them into something far, far greater than the sum of their parts.
So how does this actually work? The mechanics are just beautiful. First, this middle column Tiferet literally emerges right between the two fighting forces. Then it does two things at the exact same time. It softens the harshness of the left line's judgment, while it gives much-needed shape and direction to the right line's chaotic energy. Then it actively forces them to come together, to integrate. And this is the magic moment where the wisdom and structure from the left can finally be clothed or expressed through the loving kindness of the right. And the outcome? A whole new reality, a stable, harmonious system where expansion and contraction, giving and receiving can finally work together perfectly.
And this reveals this profound kind of counterintuitive truth, right? Real harmony isn't a passive thing. It's not just the absence of fighting. True, lasting harmony is the active integration of opposites into something bigger, better, and more complete. In fact, you actually need the tension of those two sides to create something new and beautiful.
Okay, so now we can finally return to the heart of our mystery. With this whole framework of conflict and resolution, we can at last decode those two declarations of good on day 3. This is the big payoff. Let's focus on that very first "it was good." This phrase pops up right after the waters, which were split apart on day 2, are gathered back into one place, and the dry land appears. This is the direct result of that middle column doing its reconciling work.
This first good is what we call an act of tikkun, which means rectification or repair. It's looking backward. It's a retroactive validation. With this one statement, the cosmic operating system is basically saying, okay, that machloket, that big conflict from day 2, it's resolved now. The stalemate is over. To use our tech analogy, it's like the system is announcing the critical error from the previous stage has been found and patched. The past is officially healed.
But then, after the past is repaired, creation keeps going. The newly stable earth is told to bring forth plants, trees, all this new life. And it's only after that new stuff happens that we get the second declaration of good.
The second good is an act of shlemut, which means completion or wholeness. This one is a real-time validation. It's looking at the brand new work that belongs to day 3 itself, this incredible explosion of life from the earth. And it's declaring that this new stage is stable, whole, and perfect in its own right. The present is now complete.
So do you see this beautiful 2-step process? It's incredible. First, you have to rectify the past. One statement to fix what was broken. That's tikkun. Then, and only then, can you build on that stable foundation and affirm the wholeness of the present. That's shlemet. This is the cosmic blueprint for anything that's going to be true, stable, and lasting. Repair first, then perfect.
And look, this isn't just some abstract story about stars and planets. This blueprint for reconciliation, this 2-step process of repair and completion, it applies everywhere, in our technology, our projects, and even in our own lives. Let's just look at how this plays out in ways we can all get. In software, day 2 is a critical bug, an error that makes the whole program crash. The first good on day 3, that's the patch being deployed and tested. Confirmation, error resolved. The second good, that's the cool new feature launching successfully on that stable code. Or think of a video game. Day 2 is that corrupted level you just can't beat.
The first good is clearing the corruption. The second good is unlocking and playing a brand new, perfectly designed level, or even in engineering. Day 2 is a bad imbalance in a foundation causing dangerous stress. The first good is fixing and reinforcing that weak spot. The second good is starting the next phase of construction on that now solid base.
But here is the most powerful part of this whole thing, I think. This process of reconciliation, of bringing opposites together, it doesn't just get you back to neutral. It doesn't just reset the board to zero. The very act of integrating these two powerful opposing forces actually generates a surplus of new energy, new potential, and new stability. The peace that gets created is actually stronger and more resilient than how things were before the conflict even started. And it's this brand new, supercharged stability from day 3 that becomes the essential foundation for everything else. The sun and moon, the animals and humanity, all of it gets built on this repaired, perfected ground. You see, true peace isn't just stopping the fight. It's creating a new, stronger reality out of the resolution.
So this leaves us with a question for you, for all of us. This cosmic blueprint, it's universal. It applies to our work, our relationships, our communities, our own inner struggles. So take a look around. Where are the conflicts, the stalemates, the areas of unresolved tension in your world? Where is a third-line solution, that principle of higher harmony, of Tiferet, just waiting to emerge, waiting to not just end the argument, but to repair the past and build a new, more complete reality from it? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.